Hello dear student, how are you all? I think everyone are fine there. So student, today we are going to begin with the stanza number 3, which it is a stanza number 3 of the poem If. So student, do you know, yesterday we have practiced the stanza number 2 and today we are going to begin with the stanza number 3. And it is a section C poem If, written by Rudyard Kipling. So here you can see the poetic devices or a new words, a new concept which is coming here in this stanza. So student, before beginning the stanza number 3, let's have some recall over previous stanza, whatever things we have learned there. In the stanza number 3, we have discussed how the poet Rudyard Kipling written such a beautiful stanza to give advice to his son. So the poem If is written to give the advice to his son. So here the poet is writing such a beautiful stanza and he is telling that my son should grow in a systematic manner. He should respect each and everyone in his life. He shouldn't give up. He should enjoy each and every precious thing of his life. So he should have the quality of achieving each and everything. So he shouldn't be such kind of rude person who will become so exhausted, who will become so attitude kind of person. If a person achieve everything, then attitude comes there in his mind, then he becomes such a isolated person. Why I have to talk with others? Why I have to go there? Then these kind of qualities come there in the mind of the person. So it shouldn't happen with my son. This is what the poet is telling. And he says, in his life, he shouldn't give up anything. He should enjoy each and everything, whatever comes in his brain. But after achieving and after securing his goal, what he had decided for himself. Let's say, for example, what we have discussed in the previous class, and I have given you a short story of S.P. Ravidichanor, and he is such kind of great personality here in government servants of our Karnataka state. In the same manner, the poet is telling to the son that you should be a straightforward person. You should go in a single way. You shouldn't think or diverted by many things which comes in your own way. Your goal, your ambition, your hobbies and your aim should be one in your life. So you should acquire one a day in your life. So you shouldn't give up. So this is what we have discussed in the previous class or in previous stanza. So student, let's begin with the stanza number 3 and discuss more and more about this stanza. Yes, so here the stanza number 3 speaks about the challenges, the loss, whatever comes in your life, you should accept it. What kind of challenges are there and what kinds of loss are they? So the challenges and the losses are the common things of each and everyone's life. It is a common thing of your life. It is a common thing of my life. If an exam comes, then it is a challenging task for you. If a competition comes, then it is a challenging task for you. So you should accept it and you should plan according to that. What I have to do to face this challenge, to achieve such a great path in my life. So you should think about this rather than turning your face, rather than turning your mood and getting away from the challenges. So it shouldn't be a good thing. You should work hard. You should achieve something great in your life by doing or by practicing good things. This is what here we are going to learn in the stanza number 3, which is a part 3. All right, so let's begin with this. Fine. So the stanza number 3. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and loss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breath a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. So student, here the stanza number is 3 on the page number 44, and I am repeating once again. So keep your index finger there on the stanza and try to by heart and read and narrate the stanza with me. Yes student, here we begin. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breath a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. So student, what we have learned from this stanza? Let's begin. The first 2 lines says here, if you can make one heap of all your winnings. What it means? When you are going, you are hard working, you are doing all kind of work and necessary activities to achieve your goal. If you are going to win, then what happens? Someone comes in between you and he achieved that goal. But at the same time, you have to lose yourself. You have to lose your aim or a goal, or you have to lose your competition where you are. Then what happens if you can make one heap? Heap means here risk. So student, which is given here, okay, in the poetic devices, the word heap, it means risk. Risk means taking challenges, okay, risk during possibility of loss. Here, if you are going to win, but what happens? A person will come, a boy will come, or a girl will come with more capability and intelligence, and she is going to achieve that goal. If she is going to achieve that goal, then you have to take one risk. You have to take one challenging task for you. No, I am also good. Even I can achieve it. I will give my 100%. So you shouldn't afraid of another participant. You shouldn't afraid of another persons. So you should hard work. Okay, you should prove yourself by showing your 100%. This is what here the first line says. If you can make one heap, one risk of all your winnings, okay, to try and bring the winning, okay, then and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss. So you have to take the risk. How you have to take the risk? Do you know the cricket match? In the cricket match, there is an umpire, there are the players. So the umpire used to toss the coin. So whatever comes, head or tail, so they are going to bat first. If head comes, if the captain chooses head, he won the toss and he will decide for the bat. In the same manner, tail comes, if the captain chooses tail, he decide to field. In the same manner, where you have to decide by yourself, yes, I am going to win it or is I am going to toss it, but I have to give my 100%. Okay, in which manner? By tossing the manner, by pitching and tossing the manner. This is what here the poet says in the second line. You have to take risk by tossing a coin. Okay, here the meaning of pitch and toss is a game played with coins is called pitch and toss. So you have to take the risk. How the umpire used to toss the coin. Understood? Now, and lose and start again at your beginnings. If you couldn't able to win because of your incapability, so you shouldn't be so demoralized person. You shouldn't be so a sad person. So you should work hard again. You should start with the beginning. Next time you should have that goal and ambition that this time I'm going to achieve it at any condition. So this is what a mentality should be there in your brain. You should work hard for your goal. You should work hard for your achievement. This is what here the poet wants to say. Why the poet is telling this? Because in everyone's life there are some winning nature, there is winning and there are failures also. If everyone wins in their life, then what lesson they will learn from their life? No, everyone think I am a perfect because I won. If you fail in your life, then you will get know what is my mistake, where I am lagging behind, because failures are also important as winning is important. If there are no failures, then when you will get know about your mistake, about your incapability. So this is what should taken care by everyone. So this is what here the poet says. Though failures are also very important, we should accept our failures, we should work over it, and we should turn those failures into achievement, into winning. This is what here the poet says in the third line. And lose and start again at your beginnings. You have to start from the beginning rather than giving up. Yes. Now comes to the fourth line. And never breathe a word about your loss. And never breathe a word. So you shouldn't be so hesitated, shying. You shouldn't be so responsible for your loss. If you lost, it's okay. It is a part of the life. And don't think about this. Don't bother about this. If you bother, then it will pitch you or pin you somewhere mentally. Then you will become so a mentally disordered person. So it shouldn't happen with you. So you have to give up there. No, I have to start it again and I will achieve it by learning the lessons from the failures. This is what the poet says in the fourth line. And never breathe a word about your loss. So don't think about your loss. You should work hard. Then comes the fifth line. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew. If you can force your heart and the nerve where the blood passes from one body part to another. And sinew. What is the meaning of sinew? Yes, it is given there in your glossary portion just below to the stanza. It means cord connecting a muscle to a bone. So there is a cord which connects the muscle to the bone is called sinew. Alright. So here the poet is telling about this body parts. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone. If your heart, your nerve and sinew have given up, but your mind and the willpower had never given. So you should force those body parts. No, you have to work for me because I want to achieve a great goal in my life. You shouldn't give up my hand. You should be there with me. So you have to work hard. So this is what called willpower. To serve your turn long after they are gone. If they gone, so you should make your own body parts know. You should support me. You should support me at every moment of the time. Then comes that another the last two lines. And so hold on when there is nothing in you. And you have to hold on if there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. And you have to hold on your goal. You have to hold on your willpower. You have to hold on your ambition. You should hold your aim. And you should think about all these kind of scenarios. And you should say to them, no, if my body parts have given up and they are not going to accompany me, they are not going to support me, then what is the matter? I have a willpower, I have guts, I have strength, and I have a thing in my mind that I am going to achieve it. And the remaining body parts will coincidentally, without any hurdles and obstacles, without anything, they are going to help you. This is what here the poet says. The last word is hold on. You have to hold on at any condition of your life. So hold on, the word hold on is given to your willpower. So here we can add another point. Here the poet is telling hold on. This hold on gives a very big meaning. So hold on, the word is used for. So it is for your feelings. It is for your feelings and thoughts. Okay, feelings and thought. Then if the feeling and thought, okay, collapse with each and other, then which word we have to use? Hold on. You should hold on until and unless I achieve my goal. This is what the third stanza says here. So student, what we have learned from the third stanza? In the third stanza, we discussed how if the whole body part give up its work, but there should be one willpower that should always support your mind and heart, and it should make your whole body part to work over that activity. If you have losses in your life, no issue, you should achieve it another time, but don't become the slave of failure. You should learn something from the failure, because mistakes makes the man perfect. If you win each and every time, then what did you learn from winning? Nothing, only name and fame. Then what is the meaning of the winning? Failure should be there in your life. If failures are there, then you will learn something from failures, and the next time you are never going to repeat. This is first point. Another point what we have learned, don't give up. Okay, don't give up, or never going to give up as it is. So you should be there in your goal, in your aim, in your way, or this way will take you to the great goal. So this is what the second point says. And the third point, your willpower should work with your mind, with your body, and all body parts should support your willpower, because you have to work over hold on. This hold on message should be given to whole body parts by your willpower. So this is what we have learned from this stanza, the stanza number 3 of the part number 3. Okay, so students, let's quickly revise what we have learned from this stanza. There is one hip, the word hip. So it is a new word for you. Instead of using risk while talking in English, so you can use the word hip. It means during possibility of loss, so you have to bring one risk and take the challenging task. Okay, by doing the pitch and toss. Okay, where you will get head also or tail also, but you should give 100%. Okay, in any work. Then comes pitch and loss. It means accept and try again. Otherwise, don't think about loss. And the third one, keep going when it's tired, okay, or exhausted. Then comes the word hold on. It is for your feeling and thought. So the hold on is a message here we have learned in the third stanza. So student, for the time being, watch this video thoroughly from the beginning till last. Understand each and every single point. Make the proper notes in your notebook and send me the pic there in the WhatsApp where I am going to check it. So student, so watch this video thoroughly and study well, and take care about your health and wealth. Even in the next class, we are going to discuss another stanza. Okay student, take care, have a nice day, bye bye.